Now we want to take a look at the simple interest formula. And the simple interest formula gives the future value, which is called A, in terms of the present value P, the annual interest rate R, and the length of time in years T. So this is the simple interest formula in its basic sense, and we're going to see how to use this to answer all the questions that we need concerning simple interest. So if we take $100 and deposit it in the bank at 10% simple interest, we want to know what will the value be after 20 years. So we are looking for the future value of this money, which would be the A. So we need to take these quantities, P, R, and T, plug them into the formula, P plus PRT, and then take out our calculator and type that. We're going to look at the other three versions of this formula and see how to use them and all the ins and outs of that. Even show you how to put things in your calculator. And so if we solve for P in this formula, that means we need to factor the P out on the right hand side. So taking the P out of both of these terms, we would have P times 1 plus RT. Divide both sides by the 1 plus RT, and we've got a new formula for P. And we'll have a list of all these in just a moment, but if you want to jot that down, that'll be useful after a while. Now, if we want to solve for the R, we need to subtract the P from both sides, and then divide by the P and the T. So here's another formula, same as the simple interest formula, but solved for R. We'll use that after a while too. And then finally, the only other variable is T. To solve for T, we subtract P, divide both sides by P and R, and there's our formula for T. So we got 4 different simple interest formulas. The top formula will be on your formula sheet. The others are not. And so if you want those, you'll need to come up with them. Now let me show you in the basic sense how we can work some problems with this. For example, in this problem, we're given the A, the P, and the T, and we're asked to find the R. Now, one way of doing that is to take the straight formula that's all for the formula sheet and substitute the quantities that we know. So we'll substitute the 1430 for the A, 1200 in both spots where the P is. Now the time is 8 months, so we have to use 8/12 for the time, because that's 8/12 of a year, and then leave the R alone. So we can solve this equation ourselves. And typing that into our calculator to get a normal looking interest rate. So that's one way. Take the formula off the formula sheet, put the numbers in, and solve. The other way is to take the other formula, which is not on the formula sheet, and then plug the numbers in. If we plug the numbers in for A, P, and T, this is what we would have. Remember again, 4 months means 4/12. And we can take out our calculator and just type this whole thing with appropriate use of parentheses. So there's our 2 methods. Now I'm going to go through and show you this for the other calculations. For example, to find T, this is the formula off the formula sheet. We put all the numbers in. We do the computations. Subtract 10,000 from both sides. Multiply the 10,000 and the 0.18 together, and then divide by the 1800. The other way is to know the other formula, or have it somewhere, and then plug all the numbers in, type that into the calculator. It'd be nice if we knew those other formulas, However, this is the final one. Here's the formula from the formula sheet, substituting those numbers. Now remember, T has to be in years, so if this says 40 weeks, we have to put 40 over 52 for T. And we can factor the P, divide both sides, do all the solving ourselves. Here's the other method. Take the formula that we derived, plug everything in, and then type that into our calculator. Now here are the 4 versions of the simple interest formula. What I want to do is to show you how we can use our calculator and put the formulas onto our calculator. I'll do some of this together with you in future sections, but it'd be nice if you caught on to doing this, because I won't be doing every formula for you. Let me show you. We're going to take the first formula and put it into our calculator. I'm going to push the button that says PRGM. I'm going to scroll right to where it says New and press Enter. So I'm creating a new program. Now this is the simple interest formula, so I'm going to start the name of this by spelling out S-I-M-P, simple interest formula. Now since I'm solving for the variable A, I'm going to put an A after this, so S-I-M-P-A, my simple interest formula, solved for the variable A. I'm going to push Enter, and I see a colon over on the left. Now I'll go through some more of this in class, but we need to get the values of the variables that are on the right side of the equals, P, R, and T. Push the program button, go right to I.O., and choose number 2, prompt, and then list the variables. P, you have to push the green key, then the key that has P above it, comma, that's up above the 7, and then R, green key, R, comma, green key, T, P, R, and T. Look at the first formula. P, R, and T are the only variables in that formula. Enter, and then do the calculation. That means basically type the formula properly. Now that's P, use the alpha key, plus P, R, T. P plus PRT. Enter. Finally, the only other thing, push the program button, go right to where it says I.O., number 3. Display the answer. Down at the bottom, up above the negative key, ANS in blue. Second, ANS. Now that is our program to do the future value at simple interest. Second, quit. So that program is stored on my calculator. Now, if I go back, now to answer this question, we want to find the future value at simple interest. Here's my calculator. I push the program button. I choose the program that we just did simply by highlighting the number, press Enter, and then execute it by pressing Enter again. It says P question mark. In this problem, the $100 is P. I type 100, Enter. It says R. That's the interest rate. In this problem, the interest rate was 10%. And on my calculator, 10% is 0.1. Enter. And then the time is 20 years. I type 20 and Enter. And there's the answer that we got earlier when we did this by hand. Now I'll show you how to create a program for each of these formulas. We just did the top one. The second formula, we're solving for P. If I go to my program, new, and keep to my naming scheme, I'm going to call this SIMP. And since we're solving for the variable P, I'll put another P. Simple interest, variable P. Press enter. We're going to do the same thing as before. Program IO number 2. We're going to list the variables A, R, and T. A, comma R, comma T. Enter. We're going to do the formula. A divided by 1 plus RT. Alpha A divided by, we've got to have parentheses around the 1 plus RT. So there's the proper formula. Enter. My program, IO, display, second, ANS. Okay, second, quit. So now we have a program to do SIMP where we're solving for the variable P. I'll let you go back and check it with some of the other slides in here. Third formula, we'll go program, new, and call this one SIMP, R, first thing, program, IO, number 2, variables, and enter. Type the formula. We need parentheses around the A minus P, and then divide, and then we need parentheses around the P, T. So there's the proper way of typing the third formula. Press enter, program, IO, display, second, ANS. So we now have a program for that. Second, quit. Here's the final program. Program, new, enter, enter, program, IO, prompt, A, P, and R, enter, do the calculation, parentheses, A minus P, divided by parentheses, P times R. Enter, program, IO, display, second, A and S. If you get all of these into your calculator, you should see a whole list. Simple interest P, simple interest R, simple interest T, simple interest A. So all 4 versions of the simple interest formula are now programmed into my calculator. So when I encounter a problem, I just need to run the program, spouts out the answer, I need to deal with it properly. Again, you can go back through this PowerPoint to some of the previous problems and check to see if you're getting the same answer using your program as what we did by hand when we did it earlier.